Now, it's safe to say that the 1970s weren't too kind to the automotive world. We had 2 oil embargoes, a government crackdown on emissions, fuel economy, and safety, and an influx of economy cars from Japan and Europe. The Chrysler Corporation was in particular dire straits at this time. On the verge of bankruptcy, they hired Lee Iacocca in 1979 as president. The first thing he did was go to the United States Congress and secured a loan guarantee to save the company. To rejuvenate the brand, Chrysler had to do a reboot of all their vehicles. As a major cost-saving measure, the K platform was introduced. It was a front-wheel drive platform that utilized a 4-cylinder engine that became the base for all Chrysler's vehicles, with the first being the now famous Aries K car. The K platform wasn't the only one used by Chrysler at the time. There were several. The platform we're concerned with is the L platform, serving as the base for the compact cars, the Dodge Omni and the Plymouth Horizon. For the Omni, their sporty version was known as the Omni 024. In 1981, Dodge gave the 024 a performance upgrade and called it the Charger 2.2. Under the hood, the 1.7-liter transverse-mounted 4-cylinder engine that generated 75 horsepower was upgraded to a 2.2-liter that could grind out 84 horsepower. Other features consisted of a spoiler, special gearing, a hood scoop, and special graphics. This was by far the smallest and least powerful engine that was ever used to power the Charger. However, by the time the 5th generation production ended, the durable 2.2 was producing more than double the horsepower. Remember, we're talking the early 80s here. Detroit was just beginning to retain its footing from the disastrous for the automotive world 1970s. 1982 saw little changes, but 1983 elevated the Charger from being a mere trim level to being its own vehicle. A 1.6-liter engine was added to the lineup, but it was changed mid-year back to a 1.7. However, the big news for 83 was the introduction of the Shelby Charger. Back in 1965, when Iacocca was at Ford, he and Carroll Shelby teamed up to create the most memorable stable of Shelby Mustangs up until 1970. Could they work their magic again? Well, kinda. I mean, Shelby did a lot of work to the stock Charger, and frankly, greatly improved upon the engine performance, the handling, and the design. They started by cleaning up the looks, by removing the gaudy graphics and replacing them with something more serious, yet elegant. It's by far the best looking of the 5th generation Chargers. Under the hood, the compression ratio was raised from 9:1 to 9.6:1. The camshaft timing was advanced, and the electronics were tweaked a bit to boost the horsepower from 94 to 107. It was a good start, with more to come. For 1984, the Charger was given a facelift and upgraded to 4 headlights. However, the Shelby Charger retained the 2 headlight setup. Otherwise, there were no other changes. 1985 saw a few changes once again, but now the 107 horsepower 2.2 that previously powered the Shelby Charger was now an optional engine for the regular Charger. The 85 Shelby Charger brought the introduction of the Turbocharged 2.2 Turbo 1 that cranked out a whopping 146 horsepower, well, whopping for a 4-cylinder produced in 1985. Either way, it was a major step up in horsepower. 1986 brought a mandatory center high mounted brake light for all vehicles sold in the US, and a 96 horsepower 2.2-liter engine to the base model as an option, but all else remained the same, even for the Shelbys. 1987 was the last year for the 5th generation Charger. The 2.2 became the only engine for the Charger. Otherwise, it was the end of the run for the Charger. For Shelby, the last run of the Shelby Chargers were equipped with a 175 horsepower Turbo 2 engine and all painted black with no stripes. This final car was called the Shelby GLHS, that Carroll Shelby jokingly said that it stood for "Goes Like Hell Some More."